Hello friends, welcome back to the Go tutorials. So far we have discussed about the collections. We have seen arrays, we have seen slices, of course two videos in the topic of slices. Now a new type of collection we are going to see is called map. Okay, for arrays and slices they are basically they are single dimensional. We can add more dimensions but their nature is single dimensional. Whereas maps are multidimensional. What is a map? A map is very much known for a Java programmer. They already use maps in their collections. For others who doesn't know Java, a map is nothing but a collection of key value pairs. So a map contains key value pairs. So a key represents an index, value represents the value stored in an index. So it is an index and value associated with the index. So this is called as a map. So like arrays or slices, we can store and retrieve in the same way from the same sequence we can fetch. Whereas in map, we cannot expect the sequence or order. So while dealing with map, it is an unordered collection. Say you can add values to the map in a particular sequence, but it is not necessary or not assured while fetching the map the same sequence will be followed. So randomly the operating system will fetch the value from the map, but the key value pairs will not change. The value for the key will remains as it is, but the order in which they are being returned will be changed from each and every type of fetch, right? So this is basically about maps. So key is the thing or an entity using which you can look up a particular value from the map. It is an index. Using the index you can search for a value. That is about a basic thing about a key value pair or a map, right? Let us see how to create a map using Go program. So I'm going to open the terminal. So I need to increase the size. I'm increasing the size here, right? So based on the feedback from one of the students, I'm just making the presentation a little bit clear and neat. So I'm just zooming in. So please provide your comments as and when you feel you want to add something or you need to provide some suggestions in the comment box. I will definitely implement this so that let us make the video more interactive and more special for you to get best out of it. Right. So now I have opened the command prompt. I am going to my regular Go demo folder, cd Go demo. So here, sorry, already I am in Go demo. Right. Now what I am going to do, I am going to create a map. For this, I need to create a code. Pico mapdemo.go. So what I am going to do, I am going to package main import fmt, then function main. So here what I am going to do, I am going to create a map. So first we need to create a map. How we are going to create a map here? Earlier while dealing with slice, we know there is a method called make which is used to create a slice. We are going to use the same method make here to create a map. Make is the method here. So in order to create a map, there is as I told that it has two dimensions, right? One is the key, another one is a value. So what I need to do, I need to type the keyword map. So map is the keyword I need to use to create a map. For arrays and slices, so far we just did an open close dimension specifier, whereas for maps I need to specify the keyword map. I am going to make a map. What I am going to do with this particular map, I need to specify the key and value. Which type of data will be the key and which type of data will be the value. So within square bracket I need to mention the key. So what type of key the map will be going to hold. So in my map my key will belong to integer, Right. What type of value? So value should be mentioned outside the square brackets. So now I am mentioning it as string. So this is a simple map declaration where the statement explains creating a map with integer key and string values. So this is the way we are creating a map here. So I'm going to name this map as index. I'm going to name it as index. So this is the simplest way to create a map, right? Now, this is one way to create a map. So just I want to format.Println index, go run mapdemo.go. See here, the map is empty because we don't have any value inside the map. If I just execute this code, the map returns an empty, right? But we have created a map successfully. So what does the map has? The map has an integer. Sorry, a map has the integer as a key, string as the value. So whenever we need to add a value, we need to provide a string variable, string literal. Whenever we need to add a key, that is, we need to specify a value with the key should be an integer, right? So this is how we need to create a map. So now we know how to create a map. Going one step further, I just want to add some values. I'm going to initialize the map while creating. So it is going one step further, right? So what I am going to name it as init index, because here I'm going to create a map with values initialized. So I'm naming it as a variable init index. So these are all variables, index, init index and all. So you can give whatever you wish. Even if you wish, you can put a, right? So make it as a. That's it. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it as b. So they are all just variables. This variable is going to behave like a map. So now I'm going to create a new map called b. So here also I'm going to use the same keyword map. Instead of make, because I'm not going to create a map alone, I'm going to initialize it as well here. So what I need to do, I need to specify the map, integer and string, then open close braces. I need to initialize the map. So first I need to provide an integer. The integer needs to have a string value mapped to it. So 0 0 comma 1. So I assigned two values to the map. The key is 0 and another key is 1. Let us make it 1 2 for easy understanding. Yeah. Otherwise it will confuse us with the array index and all, right? Yeah. So I have two indices, sorry, two keys. The key 1 has a value ONE. The key 2 has a value TWO. The keys should be mentioned in integer because we declared the map contains integer keys and string values. So keys are integers here and values are strings. Now I will try to print B. Right? So this is how we need to initialize maps. See here, map 1 colon 1, map 2 colon 2. So this is how we will fetch the values. Sorry, we need to initialize the maps. So this statement is to creating a map. This is to initialize a map with key and value. So this is a very simple example where we use the maps, right? Now what I am going to do here, I am going to add one more one. I am going to name it as 3. Let us see what happens. See here, missing key in map literal. So I just need to do colon. It is a syntactical error. So it's not a comma, it is a colon. Yeah. See, this is the problem. Duplicate key 1 in map literal. Here, what I am trying to do is, I have the keys 1 and key 2. Now again I am trying to add the key 1 here. So what does it means? Maps will not allow duplication in keys, whereas it will allow duplication in values. Okay, right. Let us see this in a small example here itself. Say already I have the key 1, I have one more key 2. Now I am trying to add the same key 1 again. So when I try to compile, the compiler wants me about duplicate key 1 in map literal. Now what I am going to do, I am going to change it into a valid key, but I'm going to duplicate the value for that particular key. Already I have the value one stored for the key 1. Already I have the value two stored for the key 2. Now I am again storing the value one for a new key 3. So here I am not duplicating the keys, whereas I am duplicating the values. Now if I compile and run the code, it runs. So maps will allow duplication in values, whereas they won't allow duplication in keys. So that's about maps. Maps will allow duplication in values but not in keys. So this also needs to be understood. It is also a cool new that is it is a conventional or a traditional feature whenever we deal with map. So this is a basic handling how to do the map and all. Now maps and slices. So as we discussed earlier, the map keys can be of any type of value. We can have integer, we can have string, even we can have long, anything. But how to deal with slices while we are working with what you call maps. So how to deal with maps and slices? Let us see a new example here. So here pico mapslicedemo.go. The same way package main and then import fmt, we are using the same thing, and function main. So as simple as this, it is a very simple code. Again I am trying to write, but this time what I am going to do, I am going to create a map as usual. So my map is going to be a. So here the same way, right? Map of what I'm going to do inside this map, I need to add this type, right? So what is that? Integer. That key I need to mention, right? So it will be integer and string. This is of the type. So open close brace. So I don't want to initialize any value to my map. So it is a simple. If you want, even I can do this 1 comma 1, right? So this is a simple map. Everyone knows this very well, right? Here, even though fmt dot sorry println a, go run map slice demo. So we have 1 colon 1. So the map value is being printed. It is a very simple code which we already get familiarized in the previous session. Now, what I am going to do here is, instead of an integer variable, I am going to use a slice as an index. Right? So earlier what we have used a normal variable integer, sorry, normal data type, integer or string or any type of concrete values as a data type. Now we are going to have something dynamic, which is a slice here. So in order to mention the slice, I need to put an open close dimension box. So here what I am trying to do, so trying to create a key with data, trying to create a map with key of type integer slice, right? Now what it will happen, let us see here, invalid map key type integer slice. So whenever you are dealing with map keys, please be remember, a slice cannot be a part of any map keys. Map keys are not supposed to be a slice. This is a rule when we are going to declare a key for our map. So what does it mean? Map keys should not be slices. This is another rule which we need to know, right? Okay. So now what I am going to do, I'm going to do something different. I'm thinking about, instead of doing this one, I want to make string. The string as a slice. That means a value as the slice. Earlier, what we did is we just assigned a particular key as a slice. Now my key is a concrete type or a data type like integer, character and float, no doubt, but my value will be a slice. I am trying to create a value as a slice. So what is happening now? Let us see this example. No errors, the map is accepted. So the same thumb rule we discussed earlier for the what is this uniqueness of the key, the same rule is applicable. Duplication of the key is applicable here as well. So map keys will not support slices, but map values will allow slices. So here slices cannot be a key for a map, whereas they can be a value. So this is an important thing that needs to be known when dealing with maps and slices. So maps will allow slices only in the value part, not in the key part. So this is a simple thing, right? We know this one. Now already we have seen how to create a map, right? Now we are going to initialize a map. We know how to initialize also. We have seen that, right? Now we'll see something more. mapdeclare.go. I'm going to do some declaration. Package main, import format, and then function main. The same old code we are going to write. So here, usually what we will do, we will create a map here, and then we will use the statement map of this is the key and this is the value. So here for the example, I just mentioned it as string. So here I initialize the map as an empty string, right? So when you try to print it as a, it will print an empty. That is the general way when we deal with maps, right? So go run, map is an empty because the map is not being initialized with any of the values. So instead of initializing the values here, I'm going to initialize the value here. So what I need to do here, what I am telling, both the index, that is the key, and value belongs to string type. So what I need to do, a within square bracket, I need to mention a string equal to Jack. Similarly, a age equal to 25. Sorry, it should be a string, right? So it is not an age. I will make it as address. Second street. A of city, Coimbatore. So what's happening here? I am assigning a key and value. Both of them belongs to the string type to that particular map A. Now I am trying to print A. So what will happen if I compile and run? Map, address second street, city Coimbatore, name Jack. I am running it again. This time the order got changed. Can you see? As I told earlier, in the map, the order returned is not in a particular way. It will keep on change every time. So earlier, address was the first element, city and name. Now, name is the first element, address, and then city comes here. So whenever you run each and every time, the order will not remain constant. It will keep on change from your one execution to another execution. So this is one of the important properties of maps. We need to know about that, right. Let us go to the pico code again. So this is how we need to initialize the values after declaring. So initialize after declaration, initialize map after declaration. So during the declaration, how to initialize, we have seen in the previous program. Now after declaration, how to initialize values to the map, we have seen it, right. The next thing is, I am going to declare a new map. I am not going to create a map, or I am not going to initialize a map. I am just going to declare a map. It is just a declaration. You just see here b. So there is a way to declare variables called var. Variable b which is of type map of string. So here I am declaration of map B, right? Now, as we assigned values to A, the similar way, before that I just want to ensure println B, right? Let us see what happens. This map is also empty because B doesn't have any values. We need to add values to B, right? So how we added values to A? The same way I am going to add values to B as well. Please note what is happening. B of name is equal to Ram. I am going to name it as Ram. Please notice here. Here I assigned values to the map A with key name value jack. The same way I am going to add values to the map B for the key name. Now if I compile the code, you can see here assignment to entry in Nil Map. What is a Nil Map? Here the map B is termed as a nil map. Why it is being termed as nil? Because the map is neither initialized nor instantiated or nor created. So in order to create a map, earlier we have used a statement called make. Using the make statement, we can create a particular object. So we are not using the make statement here. Apart from this, neither the map is initialized as well. So in order to initialize the map, we at least need to do this way. So this is also we are not doing. What we are doing is a simple declaration of a map with a key of string type, and the value is also string type. No doubt about that. But the map is not ready to receive values because it is not being instantiated or it is not yet created. Such kind of maps whom they have only declarations are called nil maps. That needs to be known. So earlier we have seen nil slices. In the similar context, we are now seeing what is a nil map, right? So now what we did is we just assigned some values to the map and we are fetching them, right? Let us go to one more detailed example how to fetch the values from the map. So far we declared the map, we initialized the map, we created the map, we assigned values to the map and printed them. Now we are more interested in fetching the values from the map. For that I am going to create a new example. Pico mapfetch.Demo.go. So here the same package main import same format function main. So the same conventional code. Now I am going to create a map here. So my map is going to be named as let me name them as colors colon equal to map of what I can say string, right? String of string, not colors. Let us give something meaningful. Address. Okay, so my map is termed as address. I have created a map. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to initialize my map, right? So how to initialize this? It is as simple as this. We know that. So the first field I'm going to have is street, first street, city, Coimbatore, country, India. So I have three keys, street, city, and country. These three keys has some separate values, first street, Coimbatore, and India. So this is a very simple map. So we used to have format.Println address. This is a conventional statement we use to do any type of operations, right? So go run map fetch demo. So if you run, you will get all the values initialized, right? Now we are going to fetch the particular value from the map. So how to fetch a value? Say this format.Println is not interested with a particular index or a particular key or a particular value. It prints the entire map contents, correct? Now I am interested to fetch particular values from the map. For example, what I need to do now is I am going to check is there a key street available in the map or not. If it is so, I need to get the value. So what I need to do, I need to check whether a key street is available in the map. If so, fetch the value, right? It is a very simple code which I am going to write now. For that, what we used to do, so we need to use the map, which is address. This is the map. So which field I am interested with? I need to get the value of street. There are two values being returned from the maps. Whenever you try to access a particular index of a map or a particular key of a map, if you try to fetch a particular key or value of a map, there are two things will be returned back to you, right? So the first one is value. The second one is a boolean which shows whether the particular key is exists or not. So here we need to check the boolean result. So we need to use the semicolon equal to declare and assign. So what happens to this statement is the Go compiler internally will check the address map for a particular key street. If the key street exists, it will return true and that boolean will be assigned to the result variable. If it returns false, if it does not exist, the result will be false. But if the value exists, then if the key exists, then the value of the key will be assigned to the value variable. So this is how the function or the lookup returns two values. So this lookup returns two values. One is the value of the map found in the key. The second one is boolean which says whether the key exists or not. So this is very important and interesting statement, right? So value result colon equal to address of street, right? Now I took the thing. What I need to do, format dot println, right? Result. Format dot println value. So now I am compiling the code. You see the output true, which is the boolean. That means we are checking whether the value exists or not using the boolean result. So street is the key which exists inside the map. So it returns as true. The next thing is it returns the value as well. What is the value for street? The value for street is first street. So that is being fetched and printed here. So we can do something meaningful here. What we can do here is if result, that means the result is true, then print the value. It is as simple as this. Else key not found. So if you run the code, first street, because the street key is there, so the value of the key is being fetched. Similarly, instead of street, what I am going to look up now is city. So if the city key is also there, it needs to return Coimbatore. See here, it returns Coimbatore. And now let us test the same code with a non-existing key. For example, I am going to look up with a name which is not there. We have only street, city and country, but I am looking up for name. If you run the code, what it is being returned? Key not found. See here. So what does it means? The boolean returned from that value is, from that lookup is false. That is the result variable is false. So we are handling it as key not found. So this is how we need to fetch a value from the map. right? So this is one of the way to fetch the values, right? The next thing is one more way which is more famous and very simple for us. I will show this in the below section. So let us keep it as street. Now, now what we will do, here in the previous statement we returned two values. Now I am going to return only a single value. How we will do this? The same address, the same street we are going to look up now. This needs to be returned as a single value. I am not expecting multiple values to be returned from the lookup. So I am going to name it as value 1. Earlier we have the value for address street. Now I am getting value 1 for address street. Here we are expecting a boolean as well. Now I am not expecting any booleans. So what I am going to do now is format.Println value 1. It is a very simple code. So if you run this code, it is very simple. So it will print the same value first street, because in both of the places we are looking for street and I am printing them. Now here I am going to type a non-existent key which is name. There if we type a non-existent key, it returns a boolean, so we can validate the boolean and print the value. Whereas here I am returning only the value, there is no boolean, but still I am giving a non-existence key. So if I give a non-existence key but I am not receiving any boolean status, what will happen? What will happen? It will just return an empty string. It will just return an empty string for you. So we can validate like if value 1 not equal to empty string, this one, else key not found. So one thing to be noted, if a particular value, sorry, if a particular key is not available, then the value returned will be empty. If a key is non-existent in a map, the value returned will be empty. So if it is empty, the key not found, not empty, it needs to be printed. It is a straightforward code which will print key not found because we are looking up for the key name, right? So this is a very cool feature how we need to look up in a particular maps. So how to look up the maps. Now going one step forward again, what we are going to do is we are going to iterate the maps. So earlier we have seen some for loops to iterate the slices. The same way we are going to iterate the maps. Iterate mapdemo.go package main import fmt function main. The same way I'm going to create a map a map. So the same I'm going to have a string map of and then string type, right? So I'm going to initialize the map name ram state Tamil Nadu, right? So I have initialized two keys for the map a. One is name, another one is state. I have some values also there. Now I need to use a for loop to fetch all the keys and all the values from a map. So we know the conventional way how we used to iterate the for loops using the range statement, right? The same thing we are going to use for range. What is the range variable we need to iterate here is a, right? So we need to have the iterative variables. The range variable is the a, which is a map we have given, but now we need to specify the iterative variables which are nothing but key and values. So I need to mention key, it is a variable. I can even mention k, it is a variable key, and I need to fetch the value from the range, right? So I am mentioning like this. I am assigning the value from the range a. So for each value of the map a, one key will be represented in the variable k, and the same value for the key will be represented in the variable v. So if I run the loop, what I can do is fmt.printf key is percentage %s and value is percentage %s slash n, comma, so key is k and value is v. So now I am trying to print the keys and values. Go, run, iterate. Key is name and value is Ram. Key is state and value is Tamil Nadu. So we have two keys. Two times the loop is getting iterated. Each time the key and value is being fetched. So this is how we need to iterate the maps using for loop. Iterating maps using for range loop with key and values. This is an interesting way how we did earlier in the slices, the same way we are following here as well, right? So now we know how to iterate. Okay, suddenly I am very much interested to remove a particular what we call it, a particular item or a particular value from the, even a particular key value pair from the map. For example, I'm interested only with name but not state. What I need to do? There is a statement called delete. This is a function. This is a built-in function. From where I need to delete? I need to delete from map A. What I need to delete from map A? I need to delete a particular key. I need to delete a particular key. Which key? State. So if I remove a key, the value associated with the key will also be removed. Now I'm going to iterate the same for loop. Range A, format.printf, key percentage %s, value percentage %s, k comma v. Right. So if I save this code and run this, key name value rom. Earlier in the first for loop we have two keys in the map A. The first key is name with the value ram, whereas the second key is state with the value Tamil Nadu. So what happened when we iterate the first for loop with key and values? All the keys will be printed along with their values. Now for the second key, what we did here is we have deleted a key. Delete a key value pair from the map. So we are deleting based on the key name. So the key name is state. So the value associated to the key name Tamil Nadu will also be deleted from the map. Now we have only one key remaining, which is name. So when we iterate that same map with the same for range loop, so we ended up in printing the value key name value rom because state is being deleted from the map. So this is how we need to delete the values from the map as well. So iterating the map, fetching a map, initializing the map, adding the values to map. So we have seen various phases of map, how to use slicers. So how to use what is it called? Identical. That is, there is duplicate keys. So how map will not allow duplicate keys and it will allow duplicate values. All these are the basic concepts of map collections. So this ends our session on the collections in slices. So we have basically three types of collections available in Go programming language. They are arrays, slices and maps. So arrays and slices are by natural single dimensional. We can do or we can extend them as multi-dimensional representation, but basically they are single dimensional. Whereas maps are two-dimensional because they do have keys and values. So they can, using the keys as indices, we can fetch the values. But remember, keys cannot be duplicated and the order in which the key and values are stored inside a map is not the same how you have inserted. So while fetching, the operating system or the Go compiler has its own algorithm to fetch the values. So it will not ensure the same order you have added, unlike arrays or slices. So this ends up the session on maps in Go programming language. If you have any doubts, please add them in the comment section given below. Click the subscribe button and don't forget to click the bell button as well. This will enable you to get posted whenever a new video is uploaded. So let us meet in a new session. Thanks for watching. Let's see in a new session.